Today we continue with our class Kosher Kitchen, and we start with Orchos Tzadikim, right? And we're on the gate of haughtiness. Very, very interesting topic. And we continue with the next paragraph, and it says, the haughty are despicable in the eyes of HaShem. As it is written, the abomination of HaShem are all who are haughty of heart. It says in Mishlei 16:5. And the haughty man is given into the hands of his evil inclination. He does not receive divine assistance, since he is the abomination of HaShem. And even if he does not elevate himself above any man in speech or deed, but only in his heart, so we're going to explain it. It's dangerous, right? It is still called abomination. For as it is written, abomination, the abomination of HaShem are all who are haughty of heart. Even in his haughtiness, even if his haughtiness exists, in his heart alone, he is called abomination. One second. I think. Okay, so let's review this part. I guess we can stop. He's called abomination. Okay. So it says, okay, the haughty are despicable in the eyes of HaShem. Right, because they, in some sense, as we said before, they like idol worshippers. So Hashem said, "Oh, it's you. It's whether you and me. It's you. Okay, so it's you. Okay, I'm out." The abomination of Hashem are also who are haughty of heart. Right, all who are haughty of heart. So it's in Mishlei 16:5. And the haughty man is given into the hands of evil inclination and does not receive divine assistance. Right, since he's an abomination to Hashem. So it's a very interesting sentence. It says, haughty man is given to the hands of evil inclination. So even though evil inclination is after all of us, right, there is a person who is trying, as we said many times, he's going to be provided, he or she is going to be provided with divine assistance, right, help to save that person from evil inclination, right? But a person who is haughty, he's not going to get this divine assistance, and without divine assistance, it's not so easy to say it mildly, to survive against evil inclination, right? And even if he does not elevate himself above any man in speech and deed, but only in his heart, he's still called abomination. So that's very dangerous, right? So if it's only like some people, like you see, by the way they walk, you see the arrogance, like it's coming from all over that person. But some people, they inside, like they would speak humbly, respectfully, but inside they're burning. They hate you so much, and I know these people like that. Right, I know people like that, and many times they're not good actors. You understand? Or they look at you, just look at from the look at their face, you can understand what they think about it, which is Baruch Hashem, right? So let's see. So but Hashem sees a person is considered to be abomination if he or she even haughty in their heart. Meaning there is no external evidence, but only in the heart. So let's see, commentary. He is called abomination, aside from the fact that the haughtiness is abomination. So in this case, he is called abomination. It's very interesting. So many times before that, before this sentence, we were told that we have to separate sin from sinner. Right, and then we said in the Chafetz Chaim, we said you can hate sin, but not the sinner, right? So don't associate always this sin with the person who did it. Okay, but here it's so bad, it's so wrong, right? That the Torah says he's an abomination, not that has this he has this trait of haughtiness, that he's an abomination, which is right. He's and his character are one and the same, which is scary, as we understand. Aside from the fact that haughtiness is an abomination, it is a root and a springboard of the great evils, as well as being that which prevents person from reaching the spiritual perfection. Right. So again, this haughtiness is a root for a springboard for great evils. So people, because of this haughtiness, they would do many bad things. Right. Just to prove their point. Right. To just dominate other people. Okay, just get respect from other people, right? As will be as being that prevents person from reaching spiritual perfection. Well, back. Okay, HaShem draws himself away from the haughty, as Targum says in a pasuk. HaShem keeps the distance, at distance, all who is haughty of their heart. It's very interesting. So HaShem he stays away. So we also should do the same. We have to emulate HaShem. And if we have these character traits in ourselves, so we must know, right, do exactly as HaShem does. He distanced himself from the haughty, so we have to distance from this trait. Okay, 1 second. And it says Simalbim, who cites the gate of humility. Gate of humility, footnote 5. Gate of humility is the next chapter. Okay, so we start with the gate of haughtiness, and next one is gate of humility. Okay, and now like a deeper commentary or something. And it says, with this trait, perhaps more than most others, only a person himself knows his true intention. And although his action convey one message, his real feelings may be entirely different. Even audience rises. When the audience runs out of respect for someone who has walked into the room, and he waves his hand with a downward motion, right, as is to say, "Please don't rise for me." Only that person knows whether his heart he's really waving his hand in an upwards motion, as to say, "Please rise for me." It is for this reason Shlomo HaMelech refers to such a person is Gava Leib, right, haughty of heart. His action means very little. Only the emotions of his heart tell the truth of his character. And okay, so let's do this commentary again, and we're going to explain. So this is actually the topic. Today I had another class. We had Mislas Yesharim there. Very end. Very end. We started 25th chapter. Altogether is 26. We started 25th chapter, and we said that HaShem, so and it is the topic is how to achieve this this character trait of fear of sin. And Ramchal said when you have to understand, you have to contemplate on the thing that HaShem sees everything of what is going on in your heart. Your actions, yes, that's needless to say. But even if your intention, right, deep in the heart. So meaning that a person must understand there is nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. So we have to have a pure intention and pure deeds. Okay, so let's do it again, and we're going to explain more. With this trait, perhaps, the most of the others, only the person himself know the true intention. Because this haughtiness, as we said, a person wants attention. He wants respect. So he would do charitable acts. feed the poor, give something to kids or something, like in public, or donate, and it looks like charitable, very, very charitable. Without him, this would not be possible. On one hand, but in his heart, why did he do it? Because he had a pity on his kids, on the poor people, or something else, or he wanted his name to be famous, and maybe other people see him like he's a good person, and start doing business with him. So he's a real estate broker or something. So now, like this guy, he's for L'Shem Shamayim, he's a God-fearing person. Sure, I have to do the business with him. You understand? So it was only like investment into advertisement. So only Hashem knows what is inside. So outward action does not always give you the full picture. Okay. And although his action convey one message, his real feelings may be entirely different. Okay. When the audience rises, out of respect with someone who has walked into the room, and he waves with downward motion and says, "Please don't rise for me." Right? It's only he knows. Yes, he comes into the room. He's a very important person, community leader or a rabbi of some kind of, and he came just on time, or meaning even 15 minutes late or something, because he was busy with appointments, this and that. He was, and he comes, everybody rise, and he's, no, sit down, please don't rise for me, right? What does it mean? I'm very glad that you rise, and please, of course you should stand for me. You understand? So only he himself in his heart knows. Very interesting. Please don't rise for me. Only that person knows whether in his heart he's really waving his hand upwards motion, right? So you said, right, so maybe it's down, but maybe this is the right motion, meaning that you have to rise. All of them that did not rise. Please rise for me, right? It is for this reason, Shlomo HaMelech refers to such a person, Leib, Haughty of heart. Right, meaning only in heart. His action means very little. Only the motions of his heart tell the truth of the character. Okay, so which is very insightful commentary. And it says, as it is written, the abomination of HaShem, all who are haughty of heart. Even the haughtiness exists. Even if the haughtiness exists in the heart alone, he is called abomination. So meaning abomination in front of Hashem. Not other people do not even know. Right? But as our sages say, everything that people try to hide, it's only a matter of time. Everybody would know. Okay, so we stop here. Very nice book. Okay, so we continue. We continue with our topic of Koshering for Pesach, and we're on a list of all of the smaller utensils that we have to kosher, or have to, or do not. I mean, what is possible to kosher, what is not possible to kosher, and procedure how we would kosher. So next one is, so it's page 399 if somebody's following. So next is flatware. Flatware and silverware are usually used with cliché, except the spoons that are sometimes used to stir a pot. Okay. Thus they are called kashered and cliché. Okay. However, it is customary to kasher them or in clearly shown. Therefore, the flatware should be kashered in a pot of boiling water. The matter of Hagala is described above. Okay. The flatware must be cleaned thoroughly before kasher, and special care must be taken to clean it. Any design engraving or etched on the handle on the handles. Flatware with the wooden handles may be kashered. Okay. However, those with the plastic handles should not be kashered for Pesach. Any crevices between the utensils and the handle must be cleaned. If these crevices cannot be completely cleaned, the item should not be kashered. Okay, so let's do this from the beginning, because it's very practical, and just a reminder to ourselves. Yes, our topic is kasher for Pesach, but it's exactly the same procedure, right? In this case, for sure, exactly the same procedure. Kasher, if you have a flatware that was not kasher, and now you want to go kosher, like to kosher your kitchen. Okay, so again, flatware. Flatware and silverware are usually used in a kli sheni. So kli sheni is a secondary vessel, meaning you eat with your spoon or like with a fork and knife. Usually, when it is in a plate, usually people don't eat from kli rishon, meaning the vessel that was on a source of fire. Usually, right? So, of course, he said that there is exception. Maybe like a spoon that they stir in a pot. But how often does it happen? Usually not. Usually we have servant spoons and we stir with them, not with the regular flatware. So technically, he said that we can kasher it in a kli sheni, because that's how they got the taste of chametz. Or let's say in the case of not kosher kitchen, there is taste of not kosher food, or if it was mixture of meat and milk, that taste, right? So he said technically it is in kli sheni, but I never heard somebody do it like that. So we will do in kli rishon, right? So meaning you boil the water and you dip into the water. Of course. Again, he reminded us procedure. First, you have to clean thoroughly. So sometimes, like when it's like a design, like handle, so I have to clean. Whatever you clean, and so I guess with a brush or something, right when if the handle is separate from utensil itself, so meaning that they were combined and glued. So sometimes the stick you have to clean better. Like I would say, take the toothpick and clean with that. Okay. All right. So of course, 24 hours don't use them. Right after then first wash, then 24 hours don't use them, and after that you can kasher. Right, he said if it's some engravings and he said there is no problem even to kasher the wooden handle. Right, so, but plastic is we don't kasher. So again, plastic, even though for everyday use we said there is a difference of the opinion, but for Pesach we go into stringent opinion and we say we don't kasher plastic, even if it's handle. Handle means, in my mind, like it never was like in direct contact with the food. Handle. I mean, maybe, but most likely not. Okay. All right. So continue. So next one. Okay. So we're going in alphabetical order. Okay. So next one is the food processor. Generally, one should purchase a new food processor for Pesach. The bowl and many parts are made of, and practically or partially made of plastic. Right. So many times it's a combination plastic with metal, if needed. Right. Which one does not kasher for Pesach use. In addition, the base has many crevices and are difficult to clean. See the blender above. Okay. One who has a special need should consult a Rav. Okay, I mean today all of this food processor don't buy like a super duper like food processor. You can buy like a cheaper model, right? Like less options, but it's only, again, just to remind us, it's only 8 days. Okay, do you need? Yeah, most likely you need it. Like save a lot of time and very convenient. So don't buy something expensive. Okay. Okay. So next one. So okay, right. So I mean to kosher plastic, and it's not possible. Okay. Okay. So the next one, food scales. He says sea scales. So we're going to get to it. Next one is frying pan. The method to choose when kashering frying pan for Pesach is discussed in chapter 14 in a note of 64 and 65. Let me quickly go back and see what we said there. 14, 64, 65. One second. Here's chapter 14, 54, 64. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So, and there we say about frying pan. A deep fryer may be kosher with hagala, since the taste is absorbed through the medium of liquid. There is oil. So if they do deep fryer, meaning it's not healthy, right? But when it's like contain all oil, right? So it is considered cooking. It's not considered to be frying. I mean, yes, it's frying pan, but like halachically, it's considered to be cooking. So we just kosher this frying pan with water, boiling water. Okay. So next one. However, the frying pan used to fry with oil may be kosher for Pesach with hagala. However, frying pan used to fry with oil may be kosher for Pesach with hagala, according to opinion Shulchan Aruch. Orchos 4:51:11. This is because one fries with oil, and because chometz may be considered hetera bala. According to Rabbi, right, in Ashkenazi tradition, frying pan needs a libum, even when kashering for Pesach. So libum is with a torch or like to make it glow white. Okay. However, libum kam is sufficient. So meaning just in some spaces. One second. If it's not possible to do libul kal, the frying pan may be kosher for Pesach with hagala, even according to Ashkenazic tradition. So meaning again, if they were using it with some oil. Okay, no problem. So continue. Frying pan. Grater. A grater cannot be properly cleaned properly. Grater. Theoretically, the metal grater may be kashed with libum. However, it is more practical to purchase new grater for Pesach. Okay, so it says here why is it problem? So he said that sometimes grater is used to grate bread, to make bread crumbs. Okay, so I mean, very interesting. To make breadcrumbs, I mean, they would use, I guess, breadcrumbs for frying fish or something. Okay, breadcrumbs, no problem. So grater, I mean, it's hard to understand what's the problem, because everything was cold, right? And maybe because the grater is like a knife in this case, right? But still, okay. So theoretically, they can kosher with libum. But still, right, it was cold. And bread is not sharp, right? It's not one of the sharp foods. So, right, theoretically, we can kosher it. But again, they saw not expensive, so there is no need to drive yourself crazy, right? And plus, I guess it's like there are plastic parts on the grater, so maybe not the most significant, but still they can they were glued to the grater. If you put them in the boiling water, there is possibility you can ruin them. Okay, so grinder may be kashered if it can be disassembled and each part can be cleaned properly. Some grinders have parts that are small with a small holes, difficult to clean. This may not be kashered. Grinder. We have a grinder. It says don't. It says on the instruction don't wet it. So they give us like when they sell, they give us a special the brush, so that you have to brush off. So basically, it's it's forever and ever. Okay, right. Hand mixer, see mixer. Okay, no problem. Hot plate. It is difficult, if at all possible, to kasher hot plate. It should be cleaned and put away for duration of the Pesach. So again, if you ever put chametz on there, so but if nothing ever spilled, if it's right, if none never spilled, so a different story. Okay. Next, and then plus if a person was using blech, is that, so it's also help a lot. Okay, so next one, the hot water urn. Since the Shabbos hot water urn is generally not used for chametz, it should be sufficient to simply clean it thoroughly. The spout can be kashered by immersing into kli rishon, inserting it in a kli rishon. So although the plastic already is plastic, it is not used directly with chametz. I mean, it has nothing to do with chametz at all, right? The spout even. I mean, most of the time people just get in water. So as we discussed before, and I said in my office, well, when I saw what's going on, they would do this instant soups, right? And most of the instant soup have what is it, this the spaghetti in there, right? That's the problem. That's the huge problem. So in the end, they usually people put it next to the spout, right? Very up to the next to the spout, it would be an issue. So, but the hot water urn, usually nobody would make this soup. Is it allowed to make the soup? It's a different story on Shabbos, but most likely you don't need even kosher this water urn. Okay. However, since the urn is usually on a kitchen counter, close proximity to chametz food, and one often warms food on the lid. Some require that it's to be kosher. I mean, there is an old style. I know exactly what they're talking about, and the lid of this urn is hot. So meaning, how does it open? I don't remember. I mean, it's a much bigger one. I mean, bigger than we have, and they actually have it in the shoes. Like old style. I mean, it's it's very reliable. There's nothing wrong to be the old style, but the top is hot. So technically, you can put something on top of this urn to warm up. Technically, I mean, right. So if like that, if they put the bread or something on top, so in this case you would need to kosher, but otherwise not. Okay. So our is is a plastic on top, so there is a plastic. It means insulation. So it's not. I mean, if you touch it, there is hardly warm, like from outside. You cannot warm up anything. But in this one, what he's talking about is like stainless steel, like a good quality. They can serve you for many years. Right. Okay. So continue 1 second. Okay, Kasher, okay. However, since the urns are usually on the kitchen counter, is close to proximity of chametz foods, and one often warms. Okay, he said often warms foods on the lid. Some require the Kashering. Commentary: the pump urn is less problematic since the outside of the cover does not become yad solidas bone. So they talking about now. Okay, so thank you very much. That now they remind me. What's the problem? So whatever we have a pump, right? We have a pump, and that's how we get the water. But whatever they discuss, and when I say in the shul, so the spout is on the bottom of the urn. So there is no pump at all, not manual, not electric. So there is a spout on the bottom. So in this case, yeah, the spout on the bottom and the top. That's why top is hot. Okay. So you see, I didn't think about it, but in ours there is like a pump and all of the other things. So right, so that's why it's always cold. Okay. In addition, that outside casting of the urn is completely separate from the hot water receptacle. It may be sufficient to clean the outside surface thoroughly. One should not place the urn where it comes in contact with the Pesach foods. Okay, that's it. Just put it on the side and that's good enough. Continue. The plastic lid should not be kashered, right? Since it is difficult to kasher the urn with hagala, I mean, how can you, like, it's not separable. I mean, you cannot, like, there's no insert that you can take out. It is prudent, right, and not necessarily but prudent, to purchase separate urn for Pesach use. If this is difficult, one should consult one's Rav. I mean, in most of the cases, you just clean, like, if you don't put anything on top of it, if it never, like, was in contact with the chametz, and plus it's always cold from outside, and you never use a sponge. As we said before, never use a sponge. Your homemade sponge. If you need to wash inside, just take a napkin, just take a paper towel, get some what is it, detergent, wash and throw out this towel. That's it. So in this case, this urn is always kosher, and you can use it for Pesach as well. Okay. But to buy another one for 8 days, again, if you have a huge house, you have a huge storage room, yeah, maybe, I mean, for sure it's a good idea. But we have a limited storage, and like to buy like more things just for 1 week, it's, I mean, you have all of the pots, you have all your pans, you have all of these plates, like to go for 3 days, sometimes, like this year we have two times 3 days in a row. So, and even though we don't have enough dishes, like glasses and cups, not cups we have, but glasses to have to go 3 days in a row in flatware. I mean, it's too much. It's very expensive, very heavy, and where are you going to store it? If you have a castle, that's a different story, but it's not practical. Okay. Water urn takes a lot of space, of course. Okay, so next one is an instant hot water dispenser. So that's what you have on your sink. Since one uses hot water device for homemade foods, for example, instant oatmeal, right? Hot cocoa. I'm not sure if there is any homemades in this hot cocoa. I'm not sure. I don't know. Or flavored coffee. So flavored coffee, we said most likely. I mean, you need for sure you need kosher certification, right? For other coffee, we said if it's a regular style, regular classic, there is no need of certification. It's preferable, but no. Not obligatory. Okay, right. So if they use this, they want to use this hot water spout, they must kosher it. Must be koshered for Pesach use. After cleaning thoroughly and wait 24 hours, one should turn on device, right? And when the water runs hot, pour boiling water over the spout. So meaning what? Meaning it is hot inside, the hot water goes inside, and he pours from outside from the kettle or something. Okay. So that's how you kasher this hot water dispenser. No problem. Next one is juicer. juicer that is not used or washed with the chametz may be thoroughly cleaned and used for Pesach. I'm not sure like how would you not use this juicer with the chametz. I mean, if you have one sink, so like or even two sinks, so most likely because you have a dairy sink and meat sink. So for sure you're going to wash in one of the sinks, and the chometz sink. So I'm not sure, and unless a person like so diligent and they never put this juicer down, and they always wash it like as we said with a paper towel only when holding in their hands. Yeah, then there is no problem. Okay. So next one is a kettle. So that's this one is very important. A kettle is used in proximity of the chametz, and is washed with chametz. I mean, if you ever wash it, right? So, or I mean, right inside, right? Chametz. Dishes must be kosher Pesach. So I mean, electric one is not going to work out so well, right? A kettle that is used with chametz should not be kosher unless one can visually ascertain the inside thoroughly clean. Right. So we're talking about a kettle, not electric one, but the one that you warm heat up on a stove. Okay. So first we have to check if it's clean inside. It's very clean. Therefore, a kettle with a non-removable cover cannot be kashered. I'm not sure what this non-removable cover means. I don't know. I think they all removed. Maybe it's like it's stay there, like opens and stay there. We have an electric one, so it cannot remove it. So it just, I mean, you can disassemble, of course, but it's going to stay there. Okay. The metal kettle can be kashered by cleaning it thoroughly, especially all crevices, and immersing the entire kettle in the kashering pot, right, as everything else. One cannot kasher kettle by filling it and bring to the boil, right, it to the boil, and dropping the hot stone, as we said, since the kettle usually cannot be filled completely. So why you cannot fill completely? Because of the spout, right? So that's the thing. So in case of the pot where we discussed this, you have a large pot. There is nothing that you can immerse into, right? So we said fill it to the brim. Right, so start boiling the water. When the water starts boiling, so you drop the stone, so it's overflow. So meaning when we discuss what is mean, what are we trying to achieve? We're trying to kosher the lip around. That's our goal. That's why we need extra, so it will overflow. Okay. So, but with kettle is I mean, for many years we have electric one. it works much faster. But I remember with the older one, there was a regular one. So I mean, still there is some like a half inch or whatever you cannot fill because of the level of the spout is a little lower, right? Right. So that's why he said it's not possible. Okay. So next one is kiddush cup. Kiddush cup is kosher with hagala. The commentary. Essentially, kiddush cup should not be required koshering, since it is used with cold liquid only. Nevertheless, it is customary to kosher it, since it is often washed with the chametz dishes. Not maybe, but for sure. I mean, how else are you going to wash it? Right, and you use a brush and the same sponge. So he said it. He said to wash dip it in boiling water. The design etched on a cup must be thoroughly clean. If the cup has a foot, that's a foot. The inside of the foot must be clean. So inside, from from the bottom. Of course, like a person, I never do I pour the wine on the bottom? No, you're not. But it was standing on a table with chomets. That's the issue. Okay, Kiddush cup. Okay, so but there's always solutions for right. So, for example, if a person cannot afford the silver one, you can like buy silver plated. So today they say, today from a long time ago, they start selling the silver plated. By design, they look very, very good, right? But cost like fraction of the price of the silver one, maybe 5 times less. I'm not sure how much silver, but looks shiny to me. Okay. Next one, the knife sharpener, right? That's a problematic. After cleaning, one may use a year-round sharpener to sharpen knives for Pesach, since one sharpens only cleaned cold knives. Okay, very nice. So that's a knife sharpener, no problem. Next one is a measuring cup. A measuring cup that is used only for a non-chometz cold food. Non-chometz cold foods may be washed and used for Pesach. However, since the measuring cup are often used for flour, exactly, and washed with chometz, one should purchase new measuring cups for Pesach use. Okay. So measuring cup, like in my when I was reading measuring cup, I actually imagine measuring spoons, right? Like there are spoons, like right. But a cup, measuring cup, it could be like plastic cup or a glass cup, or with gradation. Okay. Do they use it for chometz? I don't know what chometz they would use in there, but maybe even not even if they don't pour chometz there. Actually, maybe flour. I'm not sure. Maybe flour. Right. Maybe flour and right, and plus for sure that they were washing with the chometz dishes. That's for sure. So they say preferably buy the new one, right? Or if it's glass, of course you can kosher the glass. Okay, all right. So continue. Measuring spoon, C measuring cup. Okay, meat grinder, C grinder. Okay. So next one is a meat slicer. So let me see how long is it. Whoa, this list is okay. So let's continue. Meat slicer. Meat slicer that is used solely for cold meats and not washed with the chometz dishes does not need to be the kosher for Pesach. That's a little surprising. So again, a meat slicer that is used solely for cold meats, commentary. Exclude the meats that contain sharp spices or olives. For example, delicatessen. Okay. A blade used for such meat should not be kashered. Okay, so meaning if you with the sharp spices. Okay, the meat slicer used solely for cold meats and not washed with chometz dishes. Again, so you have to plan it in advance. So usually, like in my mind, so like maybe it's not washed, but person is going to wipe out the residue. Okay, I think with a sponge. So yeah, of course, if you plan it like you want to use it on Pesach, there is no problem. So you just take paper towel and that's it. You wash it, no problem. Okay. This is so that does not need to be kosher for Pesach. It should be thoroughly washed. Okay. If the blade may have been washed with chometz dishes, the blade may be kashered with hagala. Blade may be kashered with hagala. The plastic gear on the back of the blade are of no concern, since they do not come with the contact of the food. Same, right? So I guess same is the same as we were talking about flatware. Also, we said if it has a plastic handle, do not kosher. But here is even though the handle most likely, as we said, do not come in contact with the food. But here is for sure, because it's a blade, and on the back of the blade it's plastic, so for sure it never ever would get in contact with food. Okay, so technically they say you can kosher it. Okay, so next one, mixer. A chometz mixer. So, but again, the meat slicer. Meat slicer. So for cold meats. So cold meats, there is no comments there. Okay. Cold meats. So it's raw meats, or I think when I was reading the meat slice, I think it's ready meat. So, but maybe they were cooked with some spices like that contain chometz. Also possible. Okay. Mixer. A chometz mixer is generally not kosher for Pesach. Mixer. The metal beater and the bowl are difficult to clean thoroughly. Even if one were to purchase new beaters and bowls, since the mixer is used to make the dough or butter, right? There is concern that the flour may have entered the mortar housing and the vents. Exactly. The chometz may loosen and fall into the Pesach food. So I mean, right. So as we said, I think the easiest solution today, they have a very inexpensive hand mixer, right, and with few attachments, and that's what we use. So of course, I mean, it's not as convenient as a big stationary one, but it's only 8 days. So we basically it's not for bread, right? So like mixer, usually the mixer you need to make the dough. In this case, yeah, you need to make the dough, but only for cakes, for cookies or something. But that's it. So I mean, it's not the same quantity as you do for bread, because you eat matzah. So I mean, we were able to handle with handheld, which is not expensive. Next one is a nutcracker. A nutcracker does not come into contact with hot food, hot chometz, even if it's used on a table. Okay, it may be washed thoroughly and used for Pesach. Right, so that's straightforward. Commentary. As noted above, some have a custom not to place on Pesach table any item that was placed on a chometz table. Okay. No problem. Right, but after the fact, why would you need to buy two nutcrackers? Okay. Next one. Nevertheless, since it is an inexpensive item, one usually purchase a new nutcracker on Pesach. Yes. Okay. I just thought about. I don't think we have one. Like who needs it? Okay, next one, onion chopper. Right, an onion chopper without plastic parts may be kashered with hagala if all parts are accessible and be cleaned, and can be cleaned. So if it's no plastic, there is no problem. Nevertheless, one usually purchases a new chopper for Pesach. Right, again, because it's not expensive. Oven meat. An oven meat may be kashered if all chometz residue is removed and the meat is machine washed with a hot water and detergent. I'm not sure if it's washable. So we have I don't know. Maybe it's ruined. It can ruin. Okay, so it's better to buy just new ones. Meat they're not very expensive also. If meat is torn or has holes, it should not be kashered, since the tiny chometz particles may be present in the filing material. Okay, so oven meat, understandable. Peeler. A vegetable or potato peeler is usually washed with chometz dishes, and it's difficult to clean. A new pillar should be purchased for Pesach. That's clear, right? Pillar, I would say it's much more needed than the nutcracker and other things for sure. Right. Next one's a pepper mill. A pepper mill that is used to grind pepper directly into the cooking pots, right? Or one that is washed with chometz dishes. I mean, how often? Usually people don't wash this. Or once when it's ran out of pepper, I don't know. That depends on the household, of course, but does not happen very often, right? Require hagala, right? So meaning it's so some people like to grind the fresh pepper right into the cooking dish. You have to keep in mind that it is a problem, right? And it would be a problem as well if you wanted to use this one paper mill or salt mill, right? So some people have this they buy this pink salt from Himalayans or some fancy schments or different salts, right? And they want to grind salt into the soup or the stew, wherever they cook. So in this case they have to be very careful, right? If you want to use only one set for meat and dairy, so you have to grind into a saucer or something into the whatever a saucer I get is better, and then put it by hand. But if you're going to grind on top of the pot, so it's going to become meat or dairy for sure from all of the evaporation for sure. So it is a problem. So in this case, so if people are not careful, must have two sets, or for meat and dairy. Okay. So next, so they say a percolator, see coffee maker, place mats, see tablecloth, potato peeler, see peeler. Okay, pot holder. A pot holder may be kashered if all chometz residue is removed and the pot holder has no holes or tears. Right. If the machine washed with a hot water and detergent. Pot holder. Pot holder, the way I understand, it's not a mitten like a mitten when you put the hand in, but this is like thing this soft thing that you hold the handles. Okay. So he said just clean it and wash with others. Okay. Pots are kashered with hagala as described chapter 14, section 5. Okay, so as we said, because pots mean that were used with a medium of liquid, so that's how we have to kosher. Next one, poultry shares. Poultry shares are impossible to clean without being disassembled and cannot be koshered. Okay, right. I mean, they're so precise, I think, in this mechanism. So if you cannot assemble it back, would be a very big issue. Sure. So I mean, it's like scissors to cut chicken. It's very convenient, right? And so some people have one pair for poultry and meat, and another is for fish. Right, so don't use the same. I mean, technically you can, but we always suggest use separate. Next one, refrigerator. The method of cleaning the refrigerator described above was sections B7. Okay. Next one, a retainer, see dentures. Okay. Next one, rings. Rings come into contact with chometz. Rings throughout the year, and must be cleaned thoroughly. Some advise that the woman not wear her rings while preparing Pesach food. Very interesting. So a ring meaning on a woman's finger. So some advise the rings should be kashered after cleaning by pouring boiling water on them. Question whether it's necessary. I'm not sure. when they stand chometz, that it was contact with chometz, she was making a door sound. Like, I understand that. But was it hot? It was never hot. It was never hot. How can you hold in your hands so hot, right? So again, rings come into contact with chometz. There is no question about it. Or even holding a piece of bread. So I mean, or a pastry or something. For sure, in contact with chometz, we agree. Throughout the year and must be clean thoroughly. So clean, we understand, right? Just clean with a soap. That's it. Some advise that the woman not wear the rings to prepare for Pesach food. Okay. Some advise the rings should be kashered after cleaning them thoroughly with boiling water. Okay, no problem. I guess the one with the stone is has an issue, but the regular one should not have an issue. There is okay, it's very simple to clean. That's it. Okay. So next one is let me see. Is a salt shaker. Essentially, a salt shaker can be washed thoroughly and used for Pesach, since they are not used for hot foods or washed with chometz. However, it's customary to purchase a new salt shaker for Pesach. Right. But as we said, if you use a salt shaker like I would say salt grinder or even shaker, like to pour the salt into the dish, that would be a problem for sure. But here I guess they're talking about the salt shaker that you have on your table. Okay, but still, like, I think everybody would buy new ones. They're pretty cheap. Next one, scale foods. Okay, food scale, right? Food scale. Food scale that are used only for cold foods, and is not washed with the chometz, may be cleaned thoroughly and used for Pesach. It is advisable to weigh Pesach food inside a plastic bag. So what we do, we just put a napkin on top of the scale and use the scale. So it's this scale is very, very important, very very practical to understand how much you need to drink wine, right? For example, you bought new glasses. So I mean, it's not so easy, but for me it's impossible to know how much wine is going to be released, because they're not straight. They smaller on the bottom, but bigger on top. So it's very hard to understand. So I remember this year that I was forcing the family, smart me, to drink the full amount that I thought is released. But then my wife said, why don't we use the scales to see? And then we use the scales. I almost had a heart attack, because what my estimate was 30% 30 to 40% more than it was actually required. So and plus family did not want to, so it was not a good idea. Understand? So it's better to have this scales, and because unless the person has a measuring cup, right? I'm not sure. Probably we did not have measuring cups. Because we did not. I don't know. Whatever reason is, right? But it's very important. With matzah, it's simpler. With matzah, if you have, for example, machine matzah, it's simpler because you know the weight that it says on the package. Usually it's 1 pound. You know how many pieces. You can divide the pieces, and you understand how much you can eat. But with wine is not so simple. Okay, so basically the scales you can wash, right? Even not wash, clean, and use something on top. Okay. Sifter. A sifter is very difficult to clean properly. Therefore, the Ashkenazi custom is not to kasher sifter, even if it was thoroughly cleaned. Right. So I mean, right, as we said, it's impossible. I mean, possible, but we still hold on the stringent side. Okay, next one, soap dispenser. A soap dispenser pump attached to the sink is kashered in the following manner. So I mean, right, following manner. So commentaries say essentially it is sufficient to merely wash the dispenser thoroughly. Right. Okay. So because most likely, even if you touch it with a sponge, it was not that hot. Okay. So if you wash it, and plus it was a long time ago, so if it wash it, but should be enough. But you can always pour the hot water. The soap dispenser pump attached to the sink is kashered in the following manner. If the dispenser was used for a non-kosher for Pesach soap, most soaps are kosher year-round. Use kosher for Pesach as well. Right. So it's very interesting. So I did not know that. So most of the soap, he says most of the soap, that are kosher for year-round. So meaning it should be like a symbol of kashrut on there. So whatever, right? I mean, we buy one of two brands. They're kosher, and for sure one of them, maybe two of them, but sure one of them is kosher Pesach. Right, that's confirmed. Initially, all of the remaining soap should be removed. This is halachically not required, since the soap is completely inedible. Right, so also remember not to go crazy. The reservoir should be filled with water, and the dispenser pumped to remove the remaining of the soap. So technically, you want to flush the whole system, right? You pump out all of the soap, then you in the reservoir you put this water, and you pump to flush the system. Okay, right, exactly. It says to pumped to remove any remnant of soap. Continue. This should be repeated until the water is clean. Runs clean, meaning there is no more soap. One should then pour hot water from the kashering pot over the dispenser handle, right? And the spout. Alternatively, the outside of the dispenser must be washed thoroughly and not be used during the Pesach. Okay, so whatever you want, so you use it from the bottle, right? Maybe it's, I'm not sure if it's less than convenient, more convenient. I mean, we had already hole in there in our sink, so we didn't have to do anything extra. So it was a hole, so we installed their dispenser, right? Okay, storage canisters. Plastic or glass storage canisters cannot be kosher for a Pesach. One should not kosher metal canisters, since it's difficult to clean the seams and crevices properly, right? When the lid comes in, right? Okay, so all of this storage utensil, not one, but you buy plastic one. They're not expensive. Okay, next one is a strainer. I mean, we say not expensive, but we should understand, if you put all of these things, not expensive things together, it should be quite a sum. So if a person have to budget maybe every month, every semi-weekly, whatever, just try to save up, and then when the time comes, just buy everything new. Okay. Storage canister. A strainer. The strainer cannot be washed, kosher, since it is difficult to clean properly. Okay, strainer. So I mean, strainer in the sink. Sugar dish, sea salt shaker. Okay. Tablecloth. Tablecloth, tablecloth, dish towels, aprons, and bibs that you use with chametz may be used on Pesach if they were washed with the detergent in hot water. Right? I mean, usually people have separate, but if needed, as it says, you can you can wash them. Plastic tablecloth and bibs cannot be koshered. Many households keep separate tablecloth and dish towels for Pesach. I mean, that's the custom. It's not that expensive. Plus, you change the atmosphere, right? The different tablecloth, not whatever you use every time. Okay, so thermos bottle One cannot kosher a thermos for bottle. Okay. Next one, toaster or toaster oven. A toaster or toaster oven is not kosherable for Pesach. I mean, as we said before, right? It's it's too much. One is in difficult situation, could consult Rav. I'm not sure what he's going to say, but I'm not sure what they're going to. Maybe they wanted to use this toaster oven. Okay. Thongs. Thongs are used to remove steak from the grill. Should be kashered with libum gamur. Right. So let's see. Libum gamur. It's like they need to glow basically. Commentary. If they are kosher, but being kosher for Pesach, one may kosher them with chagala if they are not used for actual chometz. Okay. I mean, thongs. What are you going to do with the thongs? I mean, this one is used for a grill. The other ones that people use for cooking to turn over the food, they usually have this the silicone ends, or sometimes it's a metal ends. But yeah, you need to kosher them, or buy new ones. Again, that's inexpensive. Next one, tray serving. A serving tray may use for hot foods. Must be kosher with hagala. With water, meaning that they were not in a contact with the foods, like nobody cooked on them. Right? If a tray too large to fit into kashering pot. A tray is too large into a kashering pot. Okay, usually tray. Sorry, I mean how. A tray used only for cold foods, for example, cold drinks, may be washed and cleaned thoroughly. However, one usually does not use for home at Soren during the Soren tray during Pesach. Okay, so I mean, as we said, there is a rule, right, for many people. Don't put on a Pesach table whatever was used for this chometz. Okay. Next one is the trivets, unless you kasher completely. Okay, trivets. A trivet upon which the hot pot was placed should be kashered with hagala. One should not use the same trivet for meat and dairy foods. Right, so it's very important because in case of the spillage, right. So trivet is a thing that they call it pot rest also. Trivet. So again, the trivet upon which the hot pots were placed, and usually that's, I think that's how everybody would use the trivets. That's their purpose, right? With the hot pots for sure. Placed should be kashered with hagala, meaning in the hot water. Okay. One should not use the same trivets for meat and dairy. Okay. Or no. Okay. Next one. Warming drawer. It is hardly possible to kasher warming drawer. It should be cleaned and not used on Pesach. It is proper to seal the drawer. It's proper to seal the drawer. Warming drawer. So the warming drawer, there is in old stoves. It's the warming drawer. The way I understand, like it's on the bottom. But most people would use it for storage. If I understand correctly, that's what we call warming drawer, or a more modern ovens. If I understand correctly, it's in the middle part. So you have four burners, and there is like a middle burner, and you can cover. There's a special cover you can cover, and you use it, and you can use it to keep the food warm. Okay. So again, it is hardly possible to kasher warming drawer. If it should be cleaned, but not used for Pesach. Okay. It is proper to seal the drawer. So now seal the drawer, meaning the one with the bottom, and all similar appliances not kasher the Pesach. Okay. For during the Pesach. Okay. One who purchases home with a non-kosher warming drawer should consult Rav. Incidentally, the same warming drawer cannot be used for both meats and dairy foods. I mean, that's understandable. So on top there is no problem, right, on the grates, but not the inside. So next one is washing cup. We're almost done. Oh, that's the last one actually. The washing cup. One usually does not use year-round washing cup on Pesach, since it is placed in a sink with the homemade dishes and is difficult to clean and kosher. Okay. One who has a separate washing sink need not to kosher year-round washing cup on Pesach. Okay, so washing cup. One usually does not use the year-round washing cup on Pesach. See, we use one, but we never put it in a sink. We have like a shelf, and we always put it on a shelf. Nobody puts it on the bottom of the sink. One usually does not use the year-round washing cup for Pesach. But if somebody they have tradition to put it in a sink to get the water, so in this case, yeah, so we must get the next new one. Since it is placed in a sink with the homemade dishes, it is difficult to clean kosher, right? One who has a separate washing sink. I mean, people would have, and I saw it in a few houses from a long time ago. So people have a big table and a big family, so they would have a washing station right next to the table, which is very commendable, right? If you do in the new renovation, of course, it costs a lot of money, to get the pipe, to get the drain. I'm not sure how much, but right. But if you want to do it, it's very nice, right? So in this case, yeah, the person would only use there for washing the hands. I hope so. I hope so. They did not use this sink as a regular sink. Okay. One who has separate washing sink need not to kosher for a year around a washing cup for Pesach, right? I think practical would be to get there only cold water. Actually, no, in the winter you want a cold and warm and hot water. Okay, so we stop here. So next chapter, so we finish chapter 16, and foods prohibited because of sakana. So we have actually covered this topic is where in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. So in this class also people ask this food, the foods that left behind the bed, right? Some water that was uncovered the whole night and stuff like that. Okay, so we're going to. So let's 1 second. 1 second. Okay, perfect time. So let's take 5 minutes break and we continue after break. So we continue with laws of Yichud. We're still on chapter 3, section C, subsection D, and subsection D5. So we're going to all of these cases when the wife is with him. No? So Ishto Meshamarto. Right, and all of the different scenarios. So next one is number 5, and our topic is woman/girl staying with a married couple for extended period. Strictly speaking, there is no Yichud restriction upon a woman or a girl boarding on a permanent basis with a married couple, as long as the wife is always present and any other Yichud halachas are properly adhered to. Okay. So, okay. However, this arrangement is not generally advisable. So, right. So, the husband is still a man, right? And this woman is a woman, or girl. So, right. We have to remember this. So, don't put anybody in the place of test. I mean, right? Anybody in ourselves. Okay, so continue. This condition is endangered family, engender familiarity, that may breed subconsciousness rapport between the husband and the woman the border. That's the problem, right? So when you she's living and she's trying to impress the husband, and the husband is trying to impress another woman. So that's even she's 20 years younger than him. So that's dangerous, to say the least. The same concern exists in the case of yeshiva student boarding with a couple. A rapport can unwittingly develop between the woman and their male boarder, right? Maybe she's twice his age, doesn't matter. Right. Some poskim therefore question the wisdom, and in some cases the halacha acceptability of the boarding arrangement, right, in which one of two single girls are staying with a young couple living alone. This arrangement should be therefore avoided. So I guess the exception would be if they have a different entrance. For example, in some cases they would rent them a basement. So meaning a basement, and I mean in some basements there is a entrance from inside of the house. But in some basement, it's like on the side of the house, on the back of the house, meaning that these people do not even know when they come, when they go, these borders. So, right, that would be easier. But if they stay in one of the bedrooms, of course, that's a problem. Right, and some people go to the bathroom at night, and sometimes they are lazy to dress up completely. Right, and now she meets the husband. Guess what? That's a problem. However, for the seminary age girls to live with a family, with children, there is between age of 5 to 12, is perfectly acceptable because the constant presence of the children in a household is distraction and would hinder any special rapport from developing between husband / father and female boarder. Okay, so that's the case. Of course, but we have to understand it's much cheaper, and for parents it's much more desirable that this girl would not live in a dormitory with other girls, but with a family who can watch over her. Right. Okay, so we stop here. So we continue. So I just look ahead. So next case is very long. Right, so keep next time. Okay, so let's see questions. Okay, so it's a beautiful. So a question. Okay, I have a question about children education. If we see a young child, 6, 7, it's just like 7, drawing a picture of clouds and say it is HaShem, it is correct to tell them that it's not proper to represent as HaShem as an image? That's a very good question. I think at 6, 7, they most of the time they mature enough to at least, maybe they're not going to understand all the intricate details, but at least they understand that it's not proper. It's not proper because we don't draw HaShem. So clouds are clouds, skies are skies, but it has nothing to do with HaShem. Right? I mean, it's a part of His creation, but we don't draw HaShem. Right? So I mean, the children usually they understand this. They like. We have problem only with adults, but children usually they're pretty good in understanding. Okay, so I think it was the only question. So somebody's typing. Let's give you a few more seconds. So I did not prepare anything extra, so I mean we can do a little shorter day. So yeah, okay, no more. So yeah, yesterday we did a little extra. Okay, no more questions. No problem. So let's stop here. So I wish everybody good Shabbos, all the best. So Baruch Hashem, it was a very successful week. We finished one book, and then I think it took 2.5 years, if I estimated correctly, this Chofetz Chaim book. Right, so thank you very much. Until next week. So we should complete even more. Good night.